to add Mikal Bridges, or would you be even better off adding a guy who's more traditionally high usage, but do you think that guy could do just as well as Mikal if he's playing in a lower usage role? Do you see what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
so
Does that
so
make
this is
sense?
like pre-college or pre-draft Mikal Bridges or like today Mikal Bridges?
Today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think my answer would be different based on that like perspective. But I think like today,
Well, it doesn't have to be Mikal Bridges. It's just, but yeah, like
yeah,
okay,
like with
say if
Mikal Bridges specifically, like we know who he is now. Like he's been in the
yeah, yeah,
league for
no, no, but yeah,
yeah,
we know who the guys are. Yeah, that's we're
exactly.
not trying to guess, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So without that guesswork, yeah, I think that I would probably lean towards taking like the higher usage guy. I think it's a lot easier to like scale a player down than to like expect them to like increase their burden.
No, no,
So
but he doesn't have to increase. He just has to play the role he's playing. He's the
yeah,
role he's really good at. But would you rather have a player that's a better player as a star, but you would put him in a Mikal's kind of role? But they have like they could shoot. They're a good defender. Like I'm thinking like maybe Paul George, but George is too good. Like obviously you take Paul George over McCall, but somebody like like I don't know Gordon Hayward or somebody like I don't know. Like I'd have to think
no,
of
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
but like it's hard to explain why I feel like, but I'd rather have a player who has the ability to play on ball, even if they're projected to play in like a role similar to Mikal Bridges. I just think that on ball ability is far more like a lot of what Mikal Bridges does. Obviously, is a very good, impressive talent, right? Like he shot like 90% from the free throw line or whatever. He's a great defender, but it's easier to pigeonhole players with high usage into lower usage role and expect they're like with less pressure, like less like focus from defenses, like they can also reach that requisite level of production. But yeah, it I don't have a great example explanation, but I just generally speaking, even like in draft analysis, I think going from on ball to off ball isn't as big of a jump as it's supposedly made out to be.
Well, is it made out to be a big jump? I don't think it is. Well,
Like,
why
well, like
do you think?
Mikal was like I feel like Mikal is just a bit overvalued in today's and like the perception of people like in today's NBA.
That's
Like,
fair. Yeah, yeah, you could say
yeah,
that.
like if you gave other like not stars, but like star minus players, and they you put them into a role where they have to like cut, like shoot, catch and shoot like threes, and then just like defend like the second best player or something. Like I don't think that their production would vary that much from Mikhail, but that also is just like a philosophical thing.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
think that like the stuff the Mika like what about all the decisions like that he makes to pass up shots and then take shots when they're good and stuff like that? Do you think players just because with a lower usage role like a different player would be fairly easily be able to
Yeah,
replicate that? Do you
exactly.
think?
I think the crux of this case is that like the decision making load for him isn't as high. So I think that more players could reach that just because like he isn't like a lot of the stuff he does is like kind of in the system, right? Like it's in the system of the Suns offense. He's not really making like high level decisions or anything. So even if the
Oh,
skill
he's
set,
not. I don't know. I would.
yeah,
I haven't watched a ton of Suns, but I don't know. There's not a ton of role players that shoot. What is his like true shooting? It's like really high, right? It's in the
yeah,
last 2 years, 64.5% the last 2 years. So yeah, but like you say, it's only 14 less than 15, 14.9 usage. So yeah, provided guys lower their usage to like 15 or whatever, do you think they could easily achieve that type of I mean obviously they have to be a good shooter to begin
yeah,
with and stuff like
exactly.
that, but like provided they have like the shooting kit in an open gym, they make a similar amount of threes to McCall. What's it called, do you think guys could easily reach those that high of a usage, that high of a true
Yeah,
shooting, excuse me? I don't know, I don't think I agree with that. I think
really.
that those guys that are able to fill those small usage roles have a particular ability and talent, but definitely like I mean it's hard to come up with example. I think the argument
Yeah.
would be like who's the example there that like obviously you take like I said Paul George, you would easily take over McCall, like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
even if you already have like Michael Jordan and LeBron and all these like the dream team, say you have perfect guys, and Paul George would only be able to play use minus 15 or lower usage role, still you would take him over McCall. I'd agree there. But at the same time, I don't think you could find players super easily that could fit that role and just reach that type of efficiency.
But I feel like the ability to play on the ball, even if you are pigeonholed into that role, like just the threat of like attacking closeouts itself just brings a different dimension to the offense. Like if you have the like a player like Mikal, he doesn't have very much like on ball gravity at all. Like he does make like reactive cuts, some like proactive cuts or whatever. But like he's not like making like decisions while dribbling, like while being guarded by like the team's best defender. Like that's like a whole different like threshold of like offensive like prowess that I think that those type of players can come down to Mikal's level and provide a different dimension by like attacking close at all that different stuff, where it just like opens up the offense a little bit more in a way that Mikal not necessarily he does have like some sort of like shooting gravity and stuff like that, but I just don't think he is as potent of an offensive threat, even though another player could fit in and is not necessarily as great as all the things that Mikal does. But like he just brings a different another player would bring like a Paul George, whatever, like a lesser version of Paul George is. Like that player would bring more to the table overall to he would fit more in the flow of the offense rather than like Mikal, who is like he fits in, like the niche is there, but I just don't think there's any room to like really grow out of that. So just like on ball gravity is something that I'd rather have another player have than Mikal. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess they would provide different. They might not reach his true shooting, but then they would provide
Exactly.
more playmaking or something like
Yeah,
that, right?
it's more like the value versus like the exact like statistical thresholds that he's really meeting.
Yeah. The thing I would say is that when you're building a team, I think you should be considering those types of players, and I think you could build a team with those guys without necessarily having your star in place yet, and then get the star later. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I would even go as far as to say I do think it's easier to increase your usage than to increase your true shooting by when lowering. Like it's easier to increase your usage and lower your true shooting than to lower your usage and increase true shooting.
So it's easier. Wait, could you repeat that?
It's
I might.
easier to increase your usage and lower your true shooting than to lower your usage and increase your true shooting.
I think I might disagree with that actually. Like I think that increase like decreasing like your off ball, like, your on ball load and going into like these smaller roles, wouldn't your true shooting just like naturally increase?
To some degree, but not necessarily.
Like, are you
To I
saying
mean,
like
yeah,
from yeah?
yeah. I guess. Oh, like, what degree we're talking? Yeah, definitely.